Welcome to Nav Classes. Today we are going to discuss make and buy decision, creating or purchasing human resource developments program. So this comes under designing phase of human resource development program. Firstly, please subscribe if you didn't yet and ring the bell with subscribe button to get all lectures in your email ID as and when I upload them. So let's start with our today's lecture. See, when HRD managers or professionals has identified the program objectives, a series of decisions must be taken regarding the development and delivery of the program. Most important decision out of them is whether to design the program internally or purchase it, or the portion of those programs purchased from outside vendors, or to do some combinations of two. So many of these services are available through vendors. So before that, you should understand and you should consider following criterias, like you cannot be an expert in everything. Management cannot be expert in everything. So if HR person is not expert, then that person should outsource such activities. You cannot afford to maintain full-time staff for once in a year training. If you are going to do impart training program once in a year, then HR department or organization cannot afford the full-time staff for HRD programs. So you cannot afford the time or money to build all of your own training programs. So it takes a lot of time to do need analysis, designing, and to make such training programs. So it takes times as well as money. So the management may not able to afford that. So these training programs are already built in other firms and who are outsourcing them, so we can buy them out of them. Implications are much training is purchased rather than self-produced by management itself. There are many services available through outside vendors or consultants for HRD programs. These are assisting with conducting need analysis. They assist management to conduct need analysis with their special tools. They guide the internal staff to design or implement a program. Designing phase, designing a program specially for organization. Provide supplement training materials. They already have certain type of materials, exercises, workbook, computer softwares, and videos specially meant for such HRD programs, so they can provide them at easily. So train the trainer program. If HRD person is not that expert, then they are going to train the trainer or HRD expertise to do such training programs or to conduct such training programs in future too, so that they will be able to get such instructional skills of internal content experts. Okay. Now there are several factors to consider before purchasing and human resource development. Okay, so we are going to consider these all factors through an example. If we take an example, suppose a small manufacturer, we are taking the example of small manufacturer who desires to computerize its billing operation. Given the nature of training needed, it is likely that firm's management would contract with outside vendors. Why? Because the level of expertise available or required, the firm would probably not have the expertise to design the program in-house, so they can go for outside vendors. Then timeliness, the management would not likely to have the time to design the program. Okay, so if the management is not having the time because the organization is small manufacturers, so they can go for outside vendors. Then subject matter or sensitivity, it is not likely that the firm has an HRD department or full-time HRD professionals. In general, when the number of trainee needed are lesser or HRD intervention is small, it is more likely that project will be outsourced to outside vendors. Okay, so that is, those needing an intervention may be sent outside the organization for the program. This could come in form of organization providing the resources for professional development or tuition reimbursement. Okay. Then the other factor is cost, the price related to program content and quality. If the same program is already available with outside vendors and in lesser cost, so the management will go for outside vendor. If there is already a in-house intervention for such criteria, so what the management is going to do? Management is going to consider all in-house activities only, because they are already available in our organization. So then there is size of human resource department. It is not likely that the firm has an HRD department or full-time HRD professionals. So if there are not full-time HRD professional, as in case of smaller manufacturers, then they can go for outside vendors. Even large organization go for outside vendors, because they cannot afford full-time HRD departments or professionals, so they go for outside vendors. Okay. Or other factors or X factors, such as vendors credentials. So here we are going to consider vendor certificate, degrees, other documentations of vendor expertise, whether they are expert in such criteria or not. Then vendor background is checked, so number of years in the business and experience in the particular content area, whether the vendor is having nice background experience, so this is considered. Then vendors experience, vendors prior clients, success with those clients and references. We ask them whether they did the HRD programs, implemented such programs in correct way or not, whether they gained or not. So we see the experience of vendors. Then philosophical match between vendor and organization. Philosophy, the comparison of vendor's philosophy to that of the organization, whether they match or not. If they match, then we can go for, and we can shake hand for such HRD programs. Then delivery method, training method and techniques, which type of training method these are using. So then content including in program or materials, which type of content they are going to provide us. Well, if they match our requirement, then we definitely go for them. If they don't match, then we can ask them to include certain criteria in such content. Actual product, including appearance, samples, or whether a pilot program is available there. If available, then this is well and good, and we definitely go for them. Results expected outcomes. What are the expected outcomes? Then others are support, especially in terms of implementation and follow-up such programs, which type of support such vendors are providing us. Lastly, request for proposal. RFP is made, the match between vendors offer and requirements spelled out in organizations request for proposal. If we take example of different type of managers, then there are two type of managers. Some managers want to work with only top providers, so that they may weigh the vendor's experience and client list more heavily. Other managers may be swayed by star power, the vendor's identity as leading expert, such as management professor Dave Ulrich for training concerning strategic human resource management, or the presence of movie or TV star in vendors' films and videos. Example, John Cleese appear in series of widely used training programs and training films. In summary, outside training vendors offer organization wide choice of option in designing and developing training programs, HRD programs. These programs represent viable option when organization has small human resource development department, a small number of trainees, and the program content with no proprietary value. Even the large organizations that have well respected training function may make regular use of outside vendors for variety of HRD programs. When organizations, whether they are large or small, elect to go outside to purchase training programs and services, they of course first conduct need assessment phase, so that they will be able to make informed decisions. Research must be done on outsourcing versus insourcing, which provides additional useful information on this subject matter. So research must be considered by HRD department in-house, then they will be able to decide correctly whether they should go out or not. Now today we learn whether the HRD programs should be created inside or in-house, or they should purchase from outside vendors. So today we end up with our today's lecture. Next lecture will be on how to select the trainer and train the trainer programs, how to conduct the train the trainer program. So keep watching Nav Classes. Please subscribe if you didn't yet, and like, share with your friends on Facebook, etc. Thank you.